this is Sketching the World, and I'm Kat, a writer and artist from Australia, but my dream is to sketch the world. Okay, at the moment, I'm just getting really frustrated. I feel like I am doing this whole thing to get better at sketching umbrellas, but what's actually happening is I'm not improving. I don't think that I'm getting any better at all, and just getting frustrated with the whole process. So what I think I should do is maybe I'm trying to get a bit too complicated with what I'm doing. Like I'm doing this scene that's like all these different umbrellas, so much going on. And maybe I need to just go back to something really simple and just get like a single umbrella, single shape, stop trying to, get fancy, maybe just go back pencil and paper and see how it goes from there. I mean, these are so hard. I don't know if other people struggle with umbrellas, but it's like you've got so much going on. It's such a simple thing, but you've got like the whole umbrella with its shading and, your tonal ranges within the umbrella. But then what would you call it? Each panel in the umbrella also has so much going on. So yeah, and because of the angles and that, you can have like one panel that's really dark. The next one is quite light, like, it's hitting the light in some strange ways. Oh, umbrellas. So complicated. But yeah, I'll keep persevering. All I want to do, basically what I'm doing, I think at the moment, what I need to do is sort of try and get all the complexity, sort of doing something complex, something difficult, something very detailed, in order to sort of then strip that back and get the visual language to do it in a much simpler way. It's like, it's so counterintuitive, but I think often with art, you've got to do things like complicated. You've got to do things in detail before you can simplify them. And like people who look at art who aren't artists kind of think that, you would go from simple to more complex, but that's often not the case. It's often the opposite, that, you need to work out how you're doing things in a simple way before you can work out how to do things in a complex way before you can do them simply. I do like how I've done this with them. I mean, that's the other thing with umbrellas. You've got the sort of ribs. Is that what you call them? The ribs on the umbrella that you've sort of got to get in there. And often, they go from like being the lightest part of the sketch to the darkest part as you go around the umbrella. But hard. So hard. So hard for me. I'm sure there are people who are like, umbrellas, they're so easy. They're the easiest thing. I love painting them. I love sketching them. And it's like, we all have our things that we're good at and our things that we suck at. And umbrellas are something that, at the moment, I am not so good at. So I'm gonna stop on this for now. I mean, that's the other thing I'm doing here. I just did and that's putting the shadows in too dark. Oh, there's so many things I do wrong with my umbrellas. But yeah, stop on this. I might use my leftover paint. I've got so much paint left over on my palette that I might use it to do some backgrounds. And yeah, just get my pencil and do some simple sketching. So I've got a question. I know a lot of you do prep pages. There's nothing new to you. The idea of using your leftover acrylic gouache to prep up some backgrounds to use for sketching later. And what I'd like to know is, when you're doing it, do you try and lay down the colour as flat as possible? Like you're trying to get just a very flat, even colour with brushstrokes all going in one way, the colour all the same? Or do you actually try to get like stuff going on in your prep page? Like I sort of do a bit of both. Strokes all one way, but now I'm sort of adding in some of this blue and trying to get it all a bit textural. So yeah, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know how other people do this, or if you have some other completely different way of doing your prep pages, and I'd love to experiment with that. Yeah, it's kind of like, how much information do you want to have on the prep page before you start drawing on it? Like, is the background informing the painting, or is the background informing the sketch that you're making? That sounds really wanky, doesn't it? Yeah, but how much is influence, how much you're drawing from the underpainting, the prep page, and how much are you just having that as a blank canvas? Let me know in the comments. Okay, these umbrellas may not look any different than the other ones that I've done in terms of goodness, but I think I'm having a breakthrough, and what is working for me is to draw the ellipse. Like if you've got an umbrella that is like basically a triangle shape, the basic triangle shape of an umbrella, this ellipse here. Once I've got that, then add that point there, then the rest of it is good to go. So hopefully that will mean that my umbrella art will start improving. But yeah, I really feel like that's a major thing for me. So yeah, once I've got that, I can sort of then get the rest of the shape of the umbrella happening. And it's sort of there in my head. So yeah, I'm going to just keep practicing with these, and hopefully by the end of this book, I will be able to see an improvement. Okay, I've finished my umbrella sketchbook. I've done it in one of those little Jackson sketchbooks that I can't buy anymore because the postage to Australia is so, it's actually coming from Australia, and to get from one part of Australia to another is like so insane. I don't know, ever since Jackson's opened their Australia store, the postage to this company seems to have gone, to this country seems to have gone up an awful lot. But anyway, that's got nothing to do with sketching umbrellas. And, you know, even though I'm doing this about umbrellas, this works on any subject: cars, people, teapots. Just trying to think of really crazy things, anything. Yeah, noticed that umbrellas was something I was bad at. And it's something I think that can add, like if you're doing a street scene, there's always all the street umbrellas. If you're doing a, any kind of scene, just having some umbrellas adds a lot of character. So I did a cover page, umbrella, and a little sketch. Then this was the first sketch I did. And this was using the Sennelier brush pens. I really love the colours of these. But, yeah, I've said it before and I'll say it again. They are really horrible to use. The actual brush construction, the construction of the brush pen, yeah, makes them hard to use. Some of these are okay. This one, like that, is not good. This one, yeah, needs to come around more. And yeah, it's just, this one I think is probably the best one. And probably a bit ambitious, starting off by doing a big street scene. One thing I liked about this is that there was a girl in the background. I sort of got part of her here, and then I started really noticing her, and she was just such a fun character. So I've sketched her here. This is from the picture. Even though she was Asian, she ended up not looking Asian in my picture. She's wearing a backpack and she's sort of jumping into the air with her umbrella. And then I later on did this in Procreate, so I'll put the Procreate picture in to show you. So much fun just playing around. Like, at least when you're doing things in Procreate, you can move, and yeah, it's a good way to sort of work on how to get your sketch together, because it's a lot more forgiving. You can just keep doing as many versions as you like. Then yeah, another scene where I got a bit too complicated. This was a market scene, and so there was a lot going on. It was one of those photos I've had like sort of bookmarked on my camera roll for ages that I wanted to sketch, and I probably will sketch it again. But yes, so much going on. And again, that's in the Sennelier inks. I did this was just a quick one. I think some of these I actually did later when I was starting to get the idea of what I was actually, like the shapes and how to plan it out. So yeah, then these were just pretty basic sketches. Some Japanese businessmen walking down the street with their umbrellas. These umbrellas I think look a bit too, like the shape's a bit wrong. It's sort of more like a cone shape than umbrella shape. It's not really working. This one, yeah, I started like looking at this shape and drawing it into the sketches I was doing so I could work out with how it should be. So this one should be like using that shape there and there. And yeah, I've got some of these bits, like that bit there needs to come down a bit. This needs to come down a bit to get that shape working, which is what I sort of, yeah, worked. That's why I was working through this exercise, these exercises, or these sketching 100 million umbrellas, so that I could actually get that in my head, that this is how the umbrella works. This is the key umbrella points. One of the other things I also wanted to get happening in my brain is that when someone's holding an umbrella, where the umbrella is in relation to the person. You know, sometimes I'd have the umbrella coming sort of way down too low. I guess, yeah, like if it's coming sort of down closer on their back, then it means that they've probably got the umbrella, like the handle of the umbrella at a different angle, so you would be seeing a lot more of the umbrella. Whereas when they're got the umbrella up, so they're actually sheltering from the rain, yeah, that changes the whole angle of the umbrella and how they're holding it. So yeah, then here, these were later sketches that I just was looking through, trying to find pages in my book. And yeah, getting that whole circle of the umbrella down first and then going from there. This was one I did from an Unsplash picture, again with the ink brushes. Sort of played around with that afterwards to try and get the shape happening better. But yeah, I really like the placement of the umbrella to the woman's body. Also like how I did the shadows of her clothes. Then this is one that I was working on. I showed this sketch. I'm not sure if it was this one or I did another one from the same photo. And yeah, I wasn't getting it at all. I was in Chiang Mai and I went to, there's an umbrella factory that make the Asian style umbrellas. And I'm not going to show this in the video. They had this really, really obscene, it was a cartoon, but really obscenely pornographic. And yeah, very shocking. I mean, I'm not easily shocked, but it's just not something you expect to see somewhere that's open to tourists. Yeah, I kind of feel like I got the shapes of these umbrellas wrong. Like, and it's, yeah, once you get the shape of the umbrella wrong, yeah, that's it for the picture. This was a beach scene. This is one of the better ones, I think, that I did. I really like this beach scene with the umbrellas, beach umbrellas, and then these little deck chairs underneath. Kind of got that in a few lines. Then these, it looks like she's checking out his butt. Like, ooh, nice butt. Yeah, so some more, and again I went back later and did that circle, so sort of the circle, then work out where the handles should be hitting the middle, and yeah, where that triangle shape of the umbrella goes, and then putting in the ribs, they call ribs of the umbrella. That one's not very good, but yeah, that's the whole concept there. Then this one, watercolor. A lot of these I was just using the scraps on my palette of what I was doing for other pictures and getting the umbrella happening. This one I showed earlier in the video. I quite like this as far as colors go, and yeah, this one's kind of a weird shape. This one, because it's like full on, front on, I kind of feel like I could have done a bit better with the ribs. Another thing about the ribs is too, they've got to be equal, and that's not something I'm good at. Equal distance. And yeah, like some of them are quite dark, some of them are quite light because they're sticking out, so they're catching the light, and some of them, yeah, and then I've got that tension. I mentioned this earlier, the tension, because the fabric stretched over the ribs. So yeah, there's got to be some tension there. But apart from that, yeah, I quite like this picture, and I like how I've done the shadows in it. And I feel like I was getting closer to what I want to do by this stage. Then that was just mucking around with colours. That could have been like in Toba mucking around. Then these are not umbrellas. I was actually on my way to my watercolor class that I ended up dropping out of. And yeah, just doing some urban sketching, and this was the only light sketchbook I had handy. So this guy, total, like, let's get off track here. I was sitting in a cafe and he come and sat down, got his pipe out. You can't really see the pipe in this sketch. But he had, yeah, this pipe, this crazy hat, crazy old man. He started smoking pot in his pipe, and they come out and told him he wasn't allowed to, and he's like, oh, it's medicinal marijuana. They're like, don't care, buddy, you can't smoke at all. Like in Australia, you can't smoke even if you're sitting outside at cafes. Very strict anti-smoking laws here. But yeah, he was sort of a bit of a crazy character and looked a bit like Gandalf. So that's got nothing to do with umbrellas, but yeah, cool dude. He was rummaging through, he had a backpack. Another sketch I did on my way to watercolor class. And then yeah, getting back onto the umbrellas. This one's good. This one is a bit of a squished up shape. Then these, yeah, I was really struggling with these, and this is when I was starting to get really discouraged. These are in watercolor, and yeah, I'm like, this isn't working. This actually needs to go like that. That needs to come around there, and that needs to also go like that. Actually, if I went like that, that is a better shape. Yeah. Nice easy fix there. Then yeah, just getting on. These were like this one, just doing the basic shape and then doing the color so I can get the tonal values, the tonal range that, yeah, then creates the shape of the umbrella. And with these, yeah, I was trying to find transparent umbrellas, the kind that they have in Japan, because that makes it a lot easier to sketch. You're just sketching mainly the outline. And that, though, with them you can see all the innards, so you've got all this happening. Then more umbrellas, more. These were in inks, or maybe watercolor. Watercolor left on my palette. I can never do a sketchbook flip through without drawing over my pictures. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, with these, just trying to get the basic shape, work out how the umbrella was working, and again doing that sort of circular thing to get that bottom edge. And more. That one's a bit squished, it should be rounder. If I could draw circles better, then I'll probably draw umbrellas better. This one. And yeah, this one, this is where I was really starting to have it all click in place in my head. That needs to be a bit rounder there. But yeah, it's all starting. And then, yeah, just more umbrellas. So is there anything you find particularly taxing, or, you know, that you feel like you suck at? I really strongly suggest just getting a cheapo sketchbook, labeling it with whatever you want to improve on, and yeah, just every day working on it. Practice and more practice. It's not the most fun way to do things, but it does get you there. I mean, some of these were fun, but some of it was just, yeah, sort of just trying to get it into my brain. The only way you get it in is to, yeah, keep pushing until it sticks in there. So yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. And otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Happy sketching. Bye.